birth to Keith Thurman Jr. Come in, Keith Thurman Jr. Where the hell are you, man? If you look at the screen right now, you'll see the knockout in the biggest fight over the weekend. I'm not sure if the Zone or ESPN or YouTube will consider this infringement. If so, this could be a waste of a video, so I'll try to keep it under 30 minutes, which is short for me. If Alexander Usyk isn't in every top 10, check that, in every top 5 out there, then you might want to get out there and start watching more fights and scoring them until you get good at it. He remained the undefeated, undisputed cruiserweight champion. Look at the picture on the screen now and marvel at it. All those belts. He has the 4 major belts: the WBA, WBC, the great IBF, and the WBO belt. And the ring belt is also around his waist. So he's the ring guy and the best cruiserweight in the world. Most people should have Lomachenko and Crawford in their top 3. I don't do top 10 lists because the way I see it, if a guy is number 1 on my list, like Gennady Golovkin was for a couple years, and I don't think he loses, which I don't care what the scorecards read, I keep him at number 1. Longevity, title defenses, all of that. So he would have still been number 1 on my list. Don't care how much he slipped. Don't care what anybody else does until he gets knocked off, which he hasn't, in my opinion, then from age or from another fighter, then he stays. And it doesn't work that way, and that's why I don't do lists like that. I don't need the subjectivity or the or the arguments that come along with those lists. So, hey man, I love your top 10 list. I totally agree with it. On my list, I dropped Golovkin because he lost. But I agree with your thinking, totally. You know, he should be number 1. I agree with you. I mean, cognitive dissonance, as my friend Victor Atkinson would say. Well, you're telling me one thing, but telling me to do the other. Anyway, Usyk has options. He's listed at 6'3". Sorry for my voice. Trying to keep it. I haven't seen him in person, so I'll take him at that weight, 6'3". And there are many skeptics who see failure at heavyweight should he choose to move up. His style will give anyone up there fits if he goes some rounds and just doesn't get blown out with like an early home run shot. You understand? So I like him. I mean, I like him at heavyweight, cruiserweight. Then I see this group of people saying, hey man, if Joshua ducks him and doesn't fight him next, he's a you-know-what. And by you-know-what, I mean you can throw any condemnatory term in there. Take your pick. To those people, first of all, he's not going to fight AJ next. There's a host of guys they can set him up with. I think he's a DAZN guy, right? Oh, you got Dillian White, Derek Chisora, Jarrell Miller, Carlos Takam, Joseph Parker. You got Povetkin, Pulev, Spilka. Got Andy Ruiz in a fight that I think will be a great matchup. Marco Hook. We got your boy Prince Charles Martin, who seems expendable. Lucas Brown, Huey Fury, and I'm not sure how you handle a Bryant Jennings situation. He's a top-ranked ESPN guy, and I just don't know how you handle him. For instance, if Jennings becomes a top guy for Wilder, Arum and Premier would have to agree for that fight to happen. If he becomes a top guy for Joshua, we just don't have enough data on how DAZN would work with another promoter. If it was Matchroom, that's one thing. But now, if it's a non-pay-per-view and two entities want television rights, how are you going to make it work? It won't. I mean, that's the world we live in. If it becomes a TV rights thing, guys are going to have to pretty much start renting their guys out on a per-fight basis, and maybe getting a little more value for their guy at the expense of losing the rights to air the fight. That's the only solution, unless people just play fair. But they're not play fair people out there. I mean, main events, Kathy Duva, they play fair. To be honest, I think Bob Arum would play fair on a scenario by scenario. It depends on who the fighter is. K2 plays fair, but we'll see. We'll see. However, that won't be a problem for USYK. I mean, he's got plenty of options, and I'd start slow with him. Unfortunately, I'm not in charge of his career, and he, like his trainer's son, Vasily, looks for the biggest challenges, and they bypass time in favor of greatness. If you look at Vasily's career, it's going so fast. I think in what is it, 13 fights, he's fought like 10 current or former. I think he fought 10 current or former world champions, which, well, for lack of thinking of anybody, if you look at Deontay Wilder's resume in 40 fights, compare it to a Lomachenko or an Usyk in less than 15 or less fights or what have you. I mean, figure it out. By the way, for those who, speaking of Wilder, for those who don't want to pay whatever price the pay-per-view for Fury versus Wilder is, and who also don't have a Fire Stick or an Android box. The pay-per-view will be available at select movie theaters, so go to fathomevents.com, FATHOMEVENTS, fathomevents.com. Type your zip code and see if there's a theater close to your area. And generally, the fight will be somewhere in the $15 to $25 range. You know what? I could have went to Fathom. I should have went there, typed in to see what price it gave me. But anyway, I was wrong about Dawood Jordan. Man, he got outworked by Anthony Crolla. And I thought Jordan had enough juice to win that fight. But the fight was in Manchester, and Crolla's from Manchester. And you don't underestimate a guy at home fighting in the title eliminator for one more chance at a world title. So hats off. Anthony, you exceeded what I thought. Briedis, he won on Saturday night, but he robbed the bank, according to many who watched that fight, and got an early Christmas gift, according to many others. I'll leave a copy of that fight below. I'll leave a copy of the USYK fight below also. His opponent, Noel, lost a point in the 4th round for a rabbit punch, but he really should have lost one in the 3rd round for the same thing. And so you can see that I'll put a fight below. If I post this video and forget to put the fights below, that I think I'm going to leave 3 fights below. Forgive me. I usually say, oh, I know I forgot something, and I'll do it like hours later or a day later, but it shouldn't be any longer than that. I'm going to try to remind myself not to forget. I don't know, tie a string on my finger or something. But he got the point back in the 10th, as Briedis was deducted a point for putting Noel in a headlock and giving him a few soft love taps. And I assume the point deduction was for the headlock and not the light punches while he applied the headlock. The judging in this fight was awful, and so was the referee. He really officiated like an Olympic boxing bout. I'll put a copy of that below. It was just a very frustrating fight to watch at times, and Briedis better count his blessings. Ricky Burns got a knockout, also 3rd round, and it was business as usual for Josh Kelly. I'm going to leave those 2 fights below. So there should be a total of 4 fights below. The Burns fight went 3 rounds. The Kelly fight 1 round, less than a round, and Burns less than 3 rounds. Ended in the 3rd. Burns cut Cardle under his left eye, and in the 3rd just landed a simple straight right off the break, and that was it. Referee stopped it. Just a basic 1-2, jab, right hand. As far as Josh Kelly, talk about mismatch. Walter Castillo was overmatched from the start. I think he landed a shot to Kelly's gloves. I think that might have been Castillo's best shot of the night. He tried a looping overhand right that I think it missed. It might have partially gone, but there was nothing there. So Castillo got on his bike, and at the halfway point of the 1st round, a big overhand right dropped him. And then Kelly decided he didn't want to go rounds that night, so he went after Castillo with combinations, and the referee jumped in and stopped it. Okay, I'll leave a copy of that below. I said that Spilka versus WAP could go either way, and I tell you what, I took Spilka, and he won a split decision. It really could have went either way. Both guys are from Poland. USYK is from about an hour and some change away from where they fought. Spilka about 23 minutes away. Could have been the difference, my friends. Could have been the difference. Maybe Mama made one of the judges some cookies, if you follow me. Call me crazy, but I want to see Yuriorkis Gamboa versus Juan Manuel Lopez. Juanma. Both guys needed to win on Saturday night for it to happen, and they did. Saturday night's pay-per-view was $34 on TV, and I think $24 online at Fight TV. And I wasn't going to pay $34 or $24. But if these two fight next, which they should, I might pay $25 for the card if I don't find it on the Fire Stick or the Android box. It's just a fight that people wanted to see, although 10 years ago, 2009, it should have took place, but whatever. So it was lots of action over the weekend. Too many fights to see. Oh, Felix Verdejo got back in the win column over the weekend. So, typical story. Hey, I got a new team, new trainer, new team, and I'm going to be, I'm on my way back up to the top. That's pretty much what you'll hear. So, let's see if he can bounce back and be the guy he was highly touted to be. He's 25, so he has time. We just don't want to see another Francisco Panchito Bajado story. Hopefully we won't. That's about it. Still trying to interview Kenneth Sims Jr., who ducked me out over the weekend before his big fight Friday on Showtime, and not after his fight Friday on Showtime. Make sure you watch that card. I believe it's a triple header. Jaron Ennis is in the main event against Tito Serrano. Make sure you check Jaron out. More than likely, I'll be in Philadelphia for that card, because I have another event I want to go to that Saturday across the bridge in Jersey. So check him out Friday night. Jaron Ennis versus Tito Serrano. And then also Kenneth Sims Jr. versus Samuel Tea. Good matchups. Same night on ESPN, Maurice Hooker versus Alex Saucedo for Hooker's WBO World Super Lightweight title. Both guys undefeated. Both guys on the co-feature are undefeated. Should be interesting. Hopefully the main events won't. I know the Showtime card is 9:30 p.m. Eastern. We're looking at a triple header. As far as ESPN, hold on, I got my TV on mute. Let me see if I can get to the guide and find out the ESPN. That's 8:50 on the dial. Okay, gotta go fast forward. Monday Night Football's on right now. Let's see, I need to go to Tuesday, Wednesday. Well, while I'm doing that, same night, my man, the Cornflake, Thomas Lamana, fights Mighty Mike Arnautas. Mighty Mike. Oh, how the mighty have fallen. Mighty Mike was a big-time prospect, and just didn't work out. All right, so I'm to Thursday. Let's see, Thursday. That's AM. Friday night fights on Friday. Here we go. Friday afternoon. Friday night fights. Oh, wait a minute, doubleheader. Oh, wow. Okay, cool. The Friday night fights cards starts at midnight. Okay, midnight. So Friday night / Saturday morning. So midnight Eastern, and then on ESPN, and then at 9:30 Eastern. Wow, live from Oklahoma City at midnight. So that's like 11 p.m. I think, Oklahoma time. Wow. From 12 to 1. So they must be just showing that one fight, Maurice Hooker versus Alex Saucedo. It says live, so it's not tape delay. So there you have it. So that there's no scheduling conflict. Cornflake versus Mighty Mike. Arnaudis. Wouldn't mind seeing that fight if it was in Atlantic City a day later. This is the second time that the Ennis people and the Cornflake people have made a fight the same night. I'm starting to believe there may be a little something going on there. Anyway, anybody in the Charlotte, North Carolina area, a nice card takes place also that night featuring Cordell Booker, Michael Williams Jr., and DeAndre Neal. Okay, that's a Lavonda Early Stacy card. And so she's making waves down south right now in North Carolina. If anyone goes there, let the promoter know that the Fight Journal sent you. Let her know that. And then shout out to Chris Williams at cboxinginfo.com for helping that promotion out big time. So if you're in Charlotte and you're listening to this, go up to Lavonda Early Stacy and let her know the fightjournal.com sent you. And definitely ask for Chris Williams. He'll be in attendance. You find Chris Williams and you let him know the fightjournal.com. Told you about that fight card. They're doing big things in North Carolina. I went to a fight card a couple of years ago that Chris was a part of in Wilson, North Carolina. Small town, big dreams, and they packed the house. Rasheed Wallace was there checking out the fights that night. Also on Saturday night, you guessed it, another DAZN card featuring Jarrell Miller as he fights for a bogus version of a belt. I assume it's the WBA because they're just giving away belts right now in exchange for sanction fees, of course. You also got a grudge match between Gabriel Rosado and Louis Arias. That'll take place. And make sure you guys fight like you don't like each other too, okay, Gabe? Okay, Louis? No hugging and dancing, all right? Also on that card, the return of Brandon Bam Bam Rios. It's the same old story in boxing. He's got a new trainer. He's got a new team. And this time, he's going to get all the way back to the title. Okay, Brandon. Keep on trucking, baby. Claressa Shields fights on that card. Anthony Sims Jr. and Nico Hernandez on that card. So the card is loaded from a name standpoint, from a name perspective. All right, so make sure you check those fights out Friday and Saturday. Catch you later.